For this lesson, we're going to learn about mixing colors. The first thing you'll need is a piece of canvas, and we're going to use very thin painter's tape. We're going to divide up our canvas in such a way as to make an interesting composition. Make sure the tape is pressed down onto the canvas so the paint won't seep underneath. You can divide it up any way you like. It's probably a good idea to have at least 21 sections so that you have a lot of space to add your colors when we start mixing. You can have more than 21, but 21 is a nice, easily divided by number for us to start with. While you're putting on your last piece of tape, start thinking about what color you would like to use. You need one main color or base color, and we're going to use black and white to mix all of our tints, tones, and shades. Some of the base colors are not very thick, so you will need to paint one or two coats of them to make that canvas not show through. The first section you paint should just be your main color. This orange is kind of thin, so I think I'll need 2 coats. Now we start mixing. Take your base color and add just the tiniest amount of white. You don't want to mix everything together all at once because we need to keep adding the white to create a lighter and lighter color. Now that I've mixed a tiny little bit of white into my base color, you see I put it on a separate plastic lid so that I have some plain base color left to mix other shades later. Blend your white all together in with your base color and then paint another section. You'll continue this pattern, adding a tiny bit more white to the puddle you've already created until you paint just about 1/3 of your canvas. Anytime you mix white with a color, it's called a tint. Some tints have names. If you mix white and red, you get pink. If you mix white and orange, you could call that peach, or you could call it light orange. Add a little bit more and paint another section. Now that I've finished all the white areas, let's use a little black. Put another little puddle of your base color on your mixing tray, and this time we're going to add a tiny amount of black. Please be careful because the black is very strong, so if you add a lot right away, you're not going to be able to get a variation of your shade. You want to add the smallest amount you can to start with. You're going to repeat the pattern that you did when you used white, but this time you're going to keep making the colors darker and darker. You're going to use these shades, when you mix black with a color, it's called a shade, to paint another 1/3 of your canvas. You've mixed tints, you've mixed shades, now let's make a tone. A tone is when you mix a color with gray. So let's make a little puddle of gray to start with. A little bit of white, a little bit of black will give us a nice medium gray. This gray is what you're going to use to help you make your tone. Start with a puddle of your base color and a tiny bit of the gray. Then you're going to finish painting all the rest of the canvas just in the same pattern as we've done before. So mix a little color, mix a little gray with your color, paint a section. Mix another little gray with that same color, paint a section until you've finished the entire canvas. You should wait for the paint to completely dry before moving on to the best part of the project, removing the tape. And now we know how to make tints, tones, and shades. Good job.